You're tuned into news across the galaxy where they talk all things LA Galaxy with the Nag Boys. Let's start nagging.
Pardon the late start. We had some technical difficulties, but good evening to you wherever you news across the galaxies. The Midweek Show coming at you live coast to coast from NAG Studios East. I'm your host, Edgar Zuniga, and I'm joined tonight by the Salvi King himself on the ones and twos, Bryant Lobos. There we go. On tonight's show, we are going to go over some of the latest MLS news and preview this Saturday's matchup between visiting Charlotte FC and Los Angeles Galaxy. And to help us do all that, coming at us live from Sir Minty's throne at Bank of America Stadium, the co-host of the CLT FC Fan TV, it's the legend himself. What's up, Lee?
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, there you go. You got to put a little crown on there, right? Your little
That's it.
there.
Right?
How you been, dude?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, like we were talking back offline, life's a little busy, but, you know, the season's started back up, right? And, you know, we got the World Cup this year, and so there's a lot of soccer to be had. So excited for the season ahead.
Yeah, man, it's been crazy. I was telling you, I have a cold right now. I have a really bad cold. I've been dealing with it since Monday. I guess Monday morning. I woke up. I was like, yeah, I don't feel good. My
Yeah.
eyes are red, and I think I got it at a kid party on Saturday. My son's got that Wolverine healing factor, and I think he had the sniffles for like one day, and I was just running around like nothing happened. And
Right.
here I am, like dying over here.
That's it, man. Those critters, they carry a lot of crud with them, man.
Yeah, dude, for real. So, before we dive into LA Galaxy versus Charlotte, a bit of housekeeping. We heard that today that former Galaxy player Christian Ramirez has been signed by Austin FC. Um, yeah, when the LA Galaxy brought in João Klaus, and you already heard that Mateus Nascimento was going to be kept for a 6 month extension to his loan. You began to wonder, what was going to happen with Christian Ramirez. Christian Ramirez definitely was not the answer to solve LA Galaxy scoring woes last year. There was no replacement for Dejan Joveljic up at forward, and Christian Ramirez just happened to be too slow. He just didn't fit the pace of the team, and it led to a lot of frustrations in trying to score some goals last year. And um, we saw some of that frustration as well in his last match. It was LA Galaxy at San Miguelito in Panama, and they had him and Nascimento up top, and that never really works for LA Galaxy. They haven't had a solid two forward system in a while, and Christian Ramirez just looked out of place. It just did not work for him, and we wish him the best. Once a G, always a G. Now he's going to go to Austin, but let's switch to let's switch it out to MLS news, and we bring our good pal Lee here. Lee, I think I just told you this, right? And you're like, what? But according to Sportico, starting after the 2026 All Star break, clubs can sell ad space on the lower back of the kits. A little tramp stamp back there.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, not to compare MLS to the rest of the world, right? But I mean, everybody seems to sell space on the kits, right? With sleeves, you know, the front, I guess the butts part of it. Do you know if they can just get their own sponsor, or is it going to be like a league wide sponsor?
I think you could get your own sponsor.
It's
That'd
going
be
to be
cool if you get like somebody local.
yeah. We have Bojangles back there for Charlotte.
Oh God, right?
Yeah, like somebody says, MX vibes there. But yeah, no, I mean, you know, the sport's all about money nowadays, right? So I guess I could see it happening. I just does that mean the price of the jerseys go down from $200 to about 120?
Aha, we wish. They're probably going to charge us extra for the ink to use the sponsor logo, right?
Yeah, that's it. Hopefully we only get one with like one or two words in their names, right?
Yeah. No, you're right. You hit on a hot button topic, by the way. The kids, oh my God, they're so expensive now, man.
That's ridiculous. It's like 100. I think Charlotte's authentic is 175 before tax or something. You know?
Yeah. No, I made a comment earlier in the season that when I saw the prices, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna wait until the shirt's in a thrift store somewhere
Yeah, right.
because I made a comparison. I said I used to work at a soccer store across the street from the old LA Sports Arena, which is now BMO, where the LAFC plays. Well, there's a soccer store there, and I used to work there. And I remember in '96 when they started selling the original MLS kits, which were made of a tougher, more resistant fabric, right?
Yeah.
Um, those kits, if you take good care of them, they still look like they just came off the rack. Well, back then they were all sold for $60. So I did the conversion, right? You know, inflation and all that. It amounts to about $90 nowadays. That's still way below what we're paying for the the authentic kits now. The ones, like I said, the original MLS kits were very durable. Um, they're very well made, and the ones now obviously are made with lighter materials, so the players feel more comfortable on the pitch and all that. But geez, you're spending that much?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, right? I mean, I got a couple of kits. I never dry my kits. I only wash them, right? And the leathers are peeling off on some of them, right? And it's like you said, right? They don't seem to last as long.
Yeah. So another rumor that we heard, by the way, and this has been going around for like the whole week, and this affects you guys more than us because you guys are in the East. It looks like Griezmann is on his way to Orlando City. We
Yeah,
heard about these rumors, because forever, right? We were talking about how Griezmann's going to LAFC, and it looked like the writing was on the wall. They had his buddy there.
yeah.
One of his best friends, Carlos Vela, was playing there, and then Vela was gone. And they're like, what's going on? The LAFC's left, at the altar, right? Wondering, like, wait, what's going on over here?
Yeah.
And now you hear Griezmann's going to Orlando City. And I hear it's almost a done deal. What are your thoughts on that one?
I mean, again, it's good for the league itself. Not so much for us folks on the east side, right? We have to face them twice. But we also have to face Messi twice, right? Or assuming that he plays in both of them. And Miami hasn't really, at least against Charlotte, really run off with the game, right? And so apparently we got the GOAT that we play against twice. I mean, the East is just stacked, man. We're way much better than the West, man. Like, I don't think you boys I mean, y'all can't even beat San Diego.
How dare you? We got the noisy neighbors right down the road.
I mean, they look like a solid team too. I mean, right? But yeah. So, I mean, it's good for the league, right? It's good to see the league grow. It's good to see, like, Charlotte, we've let a couple of players go and they're doing real well over there in the Champions League, championships in England, and Middlesbrough, where Malanda, our center back, went. He's, they're second in the league, I think. They might be playing in the Premier League next year. And then Algiman for the US, right? He's just scoring at will, it looks like, down there, and they're fighting for a playoff spot. So yeah, anything that's good for the league, I'm for. But I just wish they sort of. I get the parity thing. It just kind of bothers me sometimes. If managers would really spend the money if they had the chance, or owners.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely correct. Another topic that came up with with Inter Miami going after everybody, I guess, in the offseason was when are we going to see the salary cap go up in MLS? Because it's been a while. And are we going to get a fourth DP and all that? Especially after a World Cup year, you would
Yeah.
expect the league would be ready to spend some money on some players, but it seems they're very MLS is just dragging their feet on this. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, since we brought Miami up, I'd be curious to see how they're structuring these deals to get in within the laws of what we have nowadays, right? I have no idea how they do it, but man, they just keep bringing in, for lack of a better term, studs, right? I mean, some really good players, or have been really good players in their prime. So how they do that, I don't know. So maybe some of these teams need to go down there and kind of study their structure and see how it's working if we're going to be stuck playing the rules. But I am, for one, at least raising the salary cap a little. Add another DP. I mean, it doesn't all have to be done in one season, but I would like to see it. Maybe just sort of transition year on year on year on sort of thing.
No, absolutely. Um, Another thing, another rumor that just will not die. It's like a shambling zombie. Is we keep hearing Philippe Coutinho to LA Galaxy. This is such a strange thing. Brazilian media is so funny. They're still reeling over the fact that Boanga decided to stay with LAFC. They were so convinced that he was going to end up going to Fluminense down there in the Brazilians league. And now we keep hearing that Philippe Coutinho, obviously, he said that he was burned out. He wanted to be a free agent. Um, and then you keep hearing these rumors to LA Galaxy, to LA Galaxy, to LA Galaxy. And you're like, all right. Obviously, LA Galaxy needs somebody to run things in the midfield right now because, Ricky Puig is done for another season. But um, I don't know how, they would have to make some weird moves to get him in there. But even then, we had a Brazilian player before here come at a, somewhere around his age, and we kind of got into that notion where Brazilian players kind of burn out at a young age because they've been in the system for so long that by the time they get to their 30s, they're just like, yeah, I'm done. And we saw that with Douglas Costa. So the hope is that if it is true, if there is any truth to this rumor and he comes over here, he just doesn't just take up a roster spot and just burn out. Um, but turning things back to you, Lee,
Yeah.
I want to ask you, I've heard issues about Charlotte FC and the selling cheaper seats in the upper bowl, whether they're going to open it or not. And I saw a lot of Charlotte fans were upset. What's going on over there? You would tell me a bit about this before we came on live.
Yeah, so Upper Bowl, at least the last we heard, is not being opened, which kind of goes against the grain for the rest of the seasons we had openers, right? But I get it. I mean, the bottom bowl holds around 34,000, and when that is packed, it is a good atmosphere. They've made the supporter section smaller, so we got 100 and then the 200 section, right? It used to be right behind the goal. Now we've just got the 100 and sort of the 200 like in the center of the goal. And what they've done is, at least today, they posted some tickets for sale. I think there was like 300 tickets they were selling for like $26. But that goes back to a lot of us over here on Charlotte. We've kind of been fussing at the club, right? You guys are not engaging the fans. You're not really giving us any reason why people should renew their season tickets and that sort of thing. So there's been a lot of like debate back, is it worth it? Is it worth me getting season tickets when I can get a $26 ticket essentially in the same spot that I'm in anyways? My fear is that the scalpers are going to buy those tickets up and just resell them, right? And then that kind of defeats the purpose. Looking outside in, because now we don't really have a liaison in between the front office and the fans themselves, is, it just seems to me like the tickets are not selling like they would have. And again, a lot of people, we had the PSLs, right? So now that contract's up for a lot of people. It seems like they might be turning in the PSLs and being done with it. So yeah, I mean, to me, it's, I want it to be a fair price for everybody, and I would love, to get people in. But at the same time, it's like, how is that watering down me buying a season ticket, right? So in a selfish way, it's like, what am I getting to buy season tickets versus why can't I just go ahead and get these $26 seats anyways?
And you mentioned PSLs, those personal seat licenses. This is something that's very alien to us out here as far as Galaxy fans. I know that some people are NFL fans and they probably have to deal with that at SoFi Stadium. But for those of us who are not familiar with that, can you explain how the PSL affects being a Charlotte FC season ticket holder?
Yeah, the whole reason behind the PSL, right? At least, so when the we'll get to basketball for a second. When the Charlotte Hornets first come to Charlotte back in the 80s, to get public funding, there wasn't enough funding to build the stadium, right? And to kind of offset that, they did the PSL, and the PSL was supposed to go to the, to the funding the stadium and help offset the cost for the people that were owning it and the city itself. So that sort of happened for the Panthers as well, right? So you pay the PSLs, right, and you get your tickets for the NFL games. Well, technically they're double dipping. The stadium's already built, right? So then they kind of kicked it back over to the Charlotte FC fans, and you pay PSL. So some of these pretty pricey. I can't remember the top of my head, but like club seats, right? So basically, you buy a PSL, right? That's a one-time fee. It could be like it's like $1,000 or something like that, right? Depending on where you're sitting in the stadium, right? I'm giving you the high end, and then you also have to buy your season tickets on top of that, right? So what they did is they broke that down into like there was different. You can do it 24 months, 36 months, 48 months. Well, now that 48 month is up, a lot of people are like, we're not getting a bang for our buck, and so they're kind of turning in they're not renewing their season tickets and essentially just losing that PSL, which then the team can go back and resell that PSL, right, to somebody else coming in. But it seems to me they're not selling enough tickets like they wanted to. We've been harping on them. We've been screaming at them. We've been telling them in the surveys that they send out, like you make it a fair price. You'll pack the stadium, right? You already clip us $18 a beer anyways, right? Go ahead and make the tickets where we come in the door and get the atmosphere, right? Because, when the stadium's packed, and again, just the lower bowl, man, it is such a fun time. It is like, and there's a lot of good people I've met throughout the years, right? But you can just hear the frustrations of people, right? Just the way the world is right now, people are not as free with their money as they used to be, right? Over the last 2 or 3 years, right? Things are getting tight, and I get it's a business and they need to make the money, but like at the same time, you can make that off of concessions because y'all killing us at $18 a beer.
Amen, dude. Oh, somebody said it too. We have a couple super chats. One of them, thank you, Adam, so much. $2 super chat. He asked about Kalina. We're gonna put a pin in that one because we're gonna address that later on when we talk about the teams. But he also brings up something interesting. $5 super chat. Thank you, Adam. He asks, any thoughts?
No, I mean, the only thing any thoughts on that? No, I'm glad it's coming to Charlotte. That means I don't have to pay for a hotel room.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, screw Nashville, right? I mean, we're all Charlotte fans over here, right? I know Edgar, you are sort of too, man. You got a soft spot for us, but
Yep.
yeah, I don't know, man. I'm glad it's coming to Charlotte. It's All Star is an American thing, right? And I'm not used to it. I've never really been to an All Star. I'll watch it, but it seems to be more of a kickabout to me. But yeah, I'm excited for it to be in Charlotte. Yeah, I'm just anything that we become first and maybe a rivalry, then so be it, right? We'll take it. We'll talk shit about it.
I really think that for the All Star game, they should do something similar to like what they do with the TST, the soccer tournament, or in Cary,
Yeah.
something like that, where it's different and fun, and that, and then players will feel a little bit more invested in it, and you break it up into smaller teams, and I just think that they should do something unique, maybe work out something with TST, with the
When is the All Star game? Do we know which month they're putting that in?
That's
After
a
the
good question because it's a World Cup year, so that's gonna be interesting.
But
I remember last year they think they had it in the middle of the CONCACAF Champions Club
yeah,
World Cup or something like that, so that was weird.
yeah. I would imagine we open the upper bowl for that too, right? So obviously, I would love a soccer specific stadium, even if it was like a 25,000 seater. But when it's packed, I think they can hold up to like 77,000 up in that thing. So
I've been to that stadium. It's really nice. I went there before the latest additions. I think you guys had refurbished it, right?
they had done some stuff for when we become an MLS team, right? So when the last time I met you out there, the renovations were done, but now they're starting to renovate it again. So we'll see when it's supposed to be done before the football season starts.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a really nice stadium. I like the fact you could get like endless Coke with that cup.
But still, I bet it was probably a $20 Coke to begin with.
Yeah, right. Now, like we snuck those cups in. By the way.
So you're telling yourself they're going to have a face scanner looking for you next time.
Oh no.
Yeah,
But it's fun. Like it's a unique stadium. I will say the way it's built, like the lower bowl kind of like holds noise in very well as it is.
yeah.
if they ever, and I don't know why they haven't, if they were added some kind of shade or something to the upper bowl, that would
Yeah.
just magnify the sound. But Tepper is Tepper, and it's just how he is, right?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, right? It would be nice, especially during those summer games, to have like not to compare us to Atlanta, but how they can close off the roof, right, and sort of get that AC pumping. But it's gonna be interesting when the season flips, right? When the MLS season flips and we're playing, and it's gonna be out there like freezing our asses off in like January or something.
Oh my God, yeah, and I know you get those nor'easters that come down the coast into
Yeah,
Charlotte.
yeah.
Ooh, boy, and after you get that mountain air, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a couple of weeks ago we had about 10 inches of snow, so that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
That's
So
that's very seldom.
So I mentioned Tepper, right? You're a fabulous owner. Charlotte spent so much last year, right, to build what many saw as an MLS Cup contender, and then what happened?
Oh shoot! What happened? We lost the game. We lost against New York. I mean, I don't know. It was weird the way the season went about, right? I mean, we were started off really well and strong, and then we sort of died off, and then we went on that like 9, 10 game winning streak, and that helped catapult us into the playoffs. And I don't know if it was just the mentality, the pressure, or what. I mean, we still technically have not won a playoff game at home. I think the season before last, we did beat Orlando, but that went to penalties. So a lot of people, all those gatekeepers, say that that's not winning a game. So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of, and it seems to be that we just can't kill off teams when it really matters. I mean, that's the bottom line, really.
Yeah, I remember you guys had I think was it last year or a couple years ago had a playoff game where it looked like Charlotte was headed to the win, and then something happened right at the death, and you're like,
Yeah.
not right. I
Yeah.
remember feeling so bad. I was like, damn, I'm not even. I mean,
It is.
I know this is something that the supporters would love to embrace, right? Getting
Yeah.
that
Having a playoff win. To me, us making the next round from the like not the play in, making the next round and winning that, and then getting into the actual true knockout stages, one game and done sort of thing. That to me would be a successful season. Ideally, we get some sort of trophy this year, but time will tell.
Yeah, and I feel like Charlotte's a really good sports city. Like where the stadium's located, centrally located in the city, and you got all these nice little neighborhoods nearby, eateries and places like that. It's very walkable.
Yeah.
And I started seeing I saw the little banners you guys had up in preparation for the playoff games, and I was like, damn, I could feel that excitement, right? Even from over here, I was like, I can already tell people are excited about this. Uh, Getting a playoff win, maybe going on a good cup run would really galvanize the whole city, I think.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it's just weird. I mean, again, I think we were talking about this earlier, but for whatever reason, there doesn't seem to be much hype around this season. Either I'm missing it, which I think, or at least I try to be engaged as much as possible. At least on the socials. I like to think I have my finger on the pulse of what's going on with Charlotte. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem to be like, even on the TV, you're not seeing so many commercials. You're not seeing, and it's like, it's just like they're just sort of going through the motions because they have to.
it feels maybe, I mean, you hate to say it, but do you feel like maybe the novelty's kind of worn off a bit? Um, I mean, the club isn't bad. It's just they've
I think we got a good, like on the pitch, I think we got a good team. I think, a lot of teams are going to struggle coming to see us. It's just, my fear is just, turning into like a Chicago or something, right? Where you're only getting like, 12, 15,000 fans showing up. And
yeah.
like I said, I don't know if I'm missing it and it's just because I'm busy with, trying to raise kids and that sort of thing. But, I'm not seeing the hype that we have in previous years.
Yeah, we were just talking about the relationship that's kind of deteriorated between the ownership and the supporters. Well, let's talk about supporter culture because we've heard a few things here and there about what's going on there in Charlotte, but overall, how would you describe the supporter culture now compared to how it was maybe a couple of years ago, where the fans were like really, really invested? You said that the pricing and all that, some of the stuff the team has done has kind of frayed those relationships?
Yeah, so we used to have a chief fan officer, right, which was our sort of in between the front office and the fans, where we would go to him with our concerns and that sort of thing. They did away with that. Rumor is that they've backfilled it. So, but the guy, from my understanding, he's probably only been in the position a couple of weeks, so they probably don't want to throw him to the wolves yet. The supporters groups do everything possible they can, right? We got some really good supporters groups, and they bring the noise, the loyalty, the we'll follow you anywhere kind of mentality. But yeah, I mean, every year it's like the prices keep going up, and the reason to buy or renew your season tickets is sort of going down. I don't know how it is for you guys, but they say that you got perks and this and that, right? But it's like, Apple TV, I mean, I can get that through T-Mobile if I really wanted it, right? I mean, they're saying, they give us tickets for away games, but yeah, at the same time, I still have to pay for my hotel and flight if I want to come out to LA, for instance, right? So it's still a lot of commitment and financial on myself, right? The only one I would say and you don't even need to be a season ticket member for this. You just need to be a member of a supporters group that you can, they will bus us down to Atlanta, or at least they have the last, 3 or 4 years. I'd be curious to see if they even do that this year.
Oh, wow, they're really cracking down, huh? So, what changes has the club made during the offseason to try to bolster the situation down there? Because you guys have come close before.
You mean in regards to the fan or the players?
The players. Sorry, I meant to mention that. Yeah, as far as the team, because you were talking about how like the fans feel like, what are we getting in return for our money? Well, what has the club done to bolster things with the club itself?
So, I mean, this year is like, this is Dean's year, right? A manager, right? He's had to come in, he's had to flush out players that wasn't a part of his plans, right? And that sort of thing. Our midfield was a little bit weak. I would say last year we brought in Luca, right? De La Torre, which, he's played at the U.S. men's national team level. We got Zaha out there. On the left, Takamari up top. He looks sharp. Takamari's been looking sharp in the preseason. He hit the post last week. So, and he's a young kid, right? So is that the only other on the right side? We would have like Abada and Vargas, but Abada was an $8 million DP that hasn't shown up yet, right? So right now, not to knock the guy. I know he's a human, blah blah blah, but like, man, you showed up with an $8 million price tag. Show me $8 million worth of work, right? So hopefully he does it. And, again, last year we, Pep Biel, right? He got injured, and he was sort of our playmaker and pulling stuff together for us, So, he's back healthy. He scored our goal last week, right, for the 1-1 versus St. Louis. And so it's going to be good to see him link up with the forwards. Ashley Westwood, he's our captain, right? He come from Burnley, but he's aging. I worry about how much longer or how many solid minutes he can put in per game. In my opinion, our biggest concern was center back. We lost Malanda, right? He went over to Middlesbrough in England. And while we had Andrew Privet that would have played there, right? Privet sort of got dropped over last year because Tim Ream and that sort of thing. But I don't know, man. If you Americans or the folks that are pulling for USA to win the World Cup are counting on Tim Ream, man, he looked slow and sluggish last week, and yeah. And then we got Kalina Sheets, right? That's what I like to call him. So yeah, we got Kalina in goal. And to answer your guys' question that asked earlier, Kalina's a good shot stopper. I think he can be a little slow coming off his line sometimes. But, without that man, I tell you, man, there'll probably be about 5 or 6 more goals per game put in. I mean, he had like 10 shots or 10 saves last week, which is ridiculous. And he pulled off some good saves. I've had to eat crow on this guy many times, right? Before, I used to give him such a hard time, to ask him if he had like cement boots on and that kind of stuff. But like he came through. And so, we got these Kalina saves. Somebody would put like Jesus saves or something up on the post. They turn that around to Kalina saves, and we go for the Kalina sheet, right? But so yeah, he's a good keeper. I guess The one thing, if anything, is like sometimes he's slow coming out, like if he has to play that sweeper position sort of thing, right?
Yeah. I was also curious to know if Dean Smith still has that little wine club going, where like every time the team gets a clean sheet, he
Good
gives them
question.
wine.
Yeah, I mean, I think he ran it all last year, but I don't know if that's a good question. I haven't really checked into that. I mean, maybe the players need a buzz or something before they go on the pitch. Settle their
Yeah.
nerves.
No, that's funny, man. So you rattled off a lot of names. Obviously, the team is pretty solid. But who do you think is going to have the greatest impact on the club this season?
Um, Zaha's going to do what Zaha does, right? He's probably good for, 10, 15 goals, maybe goals and assists tied up. I'm glad that Pep's back. He was sort of our maestro last year when we were on that run at the beginning of the season. And when he got hurt, we sort of dropped off for a little bit. So, if we can have a healthy Pep, I think we'll have a really good team. I mean, the spine of the team's there, right? We've actually finally started to get some depth too, right? Which was a big concern last year. We returned to the bench and it's like, who we got this can change the game, right? But, I think Dino's sort of put his mark on it. He's worked with Zorn, who I think has done pretty well in the offseason. The window's still open, man. I think we have, another month? There's no telling. We might have a big name come in, like Harry Kane or something. Heard it here first. There you go.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't get the mute going there. Harry Kane. Oh my God. How old is he now, dude?
I think he's about like 31, 32 or something. But yeah, I'm just saying, right? We still got plenty of time. The window's open, right? You know,
Hey,
I,
Ronaldo. He's upset with his team, right? You never know. Ronaldo might end up getting airlifted over to Charlotte.
somehow we ended up in Miami, right?
Oh God, no! Can you imagine it? It'd be like a black hole, man. It'd be like everything gets sucked in there, man.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how they do it, but I could like that somehow that would happen, right? But yeah, so to answer Joe's question right there, Kalina, he's a little vulnerable. I think that's more because some of our defenders, right? But when we have Malanda like actually kind of cleaned a lot of that up. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just glad, if we can stay semi healthy and not lose like some key players like we did last year. I mean, like last year we lost Nathan Byrne, which I think is one of our better players. He plays right back for us. When he was out, we sort of went on that losing streak, right? And then Pep got hurt, and it got even worse. So, I don't know, man. It's all about health.
All right, let's talk about the table positions currently. LA Galaxy, after one match, 12th place in the West, 17th overall in MLS. Charlotte comes in 5th in the East, 15th overall in MLS. The all-time records between these two teams have only played each other 3 times. Galaxy has 1 win, Charlotte has 1, and a draw between both. Playing at home versus Charlotte, though, Galaxy is winless. Charlotte won the sole match played here at Dignity Health Sports Park. The last time these two clubs played each other was on May 18th, 2024. It was a scoreless draw here in LA. Interestingly enough, it was the same match official, Joel Dickerson, who refereed that match. I'm going to talk about him in a little bit. In that particular match, Galaxy held the glut of possession, 67%, but Charlotte had more shots on goal. More shots on target, 8 to Galaxy 7. So it was a pretty even match in the end. The last time Galaxy beat Charlotte FC obviously was in the club's inaugural match on March 5th, 2022. A banger of a goal by Efrain Alvarez, crashing the party for Charlotte. I'm sorry, Lee. But you know what? You guys did us a solid because the last time Charlotte beat Galaxy on May 27th, 2023, which is a 1-0 victory, I was at that game. That spelled the end for former Galaxy president Chris Klein, who was fired after that match. So thank you. Thank you very much, Lee.
Yeah, I think we went on a streak there, man, of like beating teams and managers and presidents getting let go. It was like we just that Reaper thing where the meme where they're not right. It was like who's next, right? So, but yeah, you guys beat us in our first ever home game, but we did set the attendance record that year.
Let's see, player availability report for LA Galaxy. From the latest that we've heard, Isaiah Parente is still out. Chris Rendon is questionable with a leg injury. So Eric Tommy might be available this weekend, but Elijah Winder is also nursing a leg injury. What can you tell us about Charlotte?
Yeah, I think we only have one injury. Kessler, I believe his name is. I keep screwing his name up, but yeah, I think we have one person that would be an original starter. But from last week, yeah, I think it's probably going to be the same setup. It looks like we're going to play like a 4-2-3-1 sort of move. So yeah, I think overall, I think we're healthy. We're ready to go, and yeah, we're going to beat you guys 2-1.
Oh my goodness! Look at that. I was going to ask you what type of players our Galaxy fans should look out for. You mentioned Saha. You mentioned PPL.
Yeah.
What are some players that we should really look out for?
Yeah, so Zaha and PL right up front. I mean, like I said, Takamari is a young kid that's kind of taken over from Patrick Algerman, who's been doing really well in the preseason. He's just been scoring, so he's got a lot of good support around him. Other than that, man, it just really depends on if Abada shows up, right? I think Vargas does okay, but other than that, it's really about it. I mean, you American fans watch Tim Ream and see what you think, man.
Hey, what will it take for LA Galaxy to defeat Charlotte this time around?
Score more goals than us.
Oh my goodness, we're having a hard time scoring goals. By the way, I was going to ask you because it's last year, we turned the page on 2025, but I'm
Yeah.
sure you're sitting over there wondering like, what the hell's going on over there, right? Because we were coming off a cup, right? What was
Yeah.
going through your mind?
I don't know. I mean, I just, I've only been to LA like once, and that was many moons ago, right? And I just picture, everybody wants to be either in like the Miamis, the New Yorks, right? The big cities. And, I'm curious to know why y'all are letting LAFC do what Miami's doing over here on the East Coast.
Yeah, I mean, MLS rules. Damn. I mean, MLS rules are set up. You know how Garber has his darling of the week or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, we were that for a while. I mean, we got Beckham over here, right? And they kind of changed the rules for us a little.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff that we're seeing, some of the other clubs do, it's like, wow, either they have like some really savvy businessmen working as GM, or
Yeah.
there's a lot of funny money being dealt that we don't know about.
Yeah. 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 No, that's what I'm saying. If you're like in college to manage a sports team and you want to get into MLS, I'd focus on see how Miami's working everybody's contracts.
For real. No,
Yeah.
I asked about that. I think they get a lot of loans, like short-term loans, and then they just like they it's kind of like an assembly line. Like you come through, you do this, you're out. You come through, come in, you're out. And but they're bringing in these really good players, though. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. They're getting like 10% of the hot dog sales or what, man?
My God, and their prices are crazy from what I've heard. It's really expensive to get a ticket. I can only imagine how much more expensive it's going to be at the new stadium that they're building right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, once that's built, I'd like to go down there for an away trip to see him play. But, you know, by then maybe Messi would be retired and Miami would be no more.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to like sell one of your kidneys, in order for that, right? Like kind of like going to World Cup.
Tell me about it. Yeah, I got an extra kid I'll just throw in, put them up on eBay or something.
Oh damn! Oh my God! Let me just talk. Go make a little side thing here real quick.
Yeah.
When the '94 World Cup came around, I had just turned 18. I remember I really wanted to catch some games. My dad got really sick, and my family we were just unable to do anything. So I always promised myself that the World Cup ever came back to the U.S., I was going to save up and I was going to go. And if I had kids, I would definitely take them. Flash forward all these years, right? The World Cup's coming around. I have a son. He's gonna be 6 by the time the World Cup's is here in the summer, and I'm like, perfect. This is a great opportunity to introduce him to something amazing that I never really got to experience when I was younger. But my God, those prices just took took uh, took on any kind of emotion out of me. Like I really don't feel like I saw it and I was like, okay, I don't want to go. I don't want to go anymore.
So,
And it's sad.
so to your point, yes, right. being from England, I was like, man, World Cup in the US, man, to see England play in the World Cup. It's my 50th birthday this year, right? This is all bucket list stuff. Let's see how much the tickets were. So it was England versus Ghana in Boston, right? Just one ticket was like $1,300, right? So, and then you got to pay for the flights, the hotels, yada, 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 right? So I went through like, well, if England, when will England be closer to me here in Charlotte? So that way I don't have to spend for the flight and possibly make a day trip out of it, right? I'll be wore the hell out. But like, so I worked it out. England is, if they win their group stage, they're going to be playing in Atlanta. So, you know, while yes, the tickets are stupid expensive, I did drop about $500 on a ticket just to be able to drive down to Atlanta and watch England play in the World Cup. So knowing my luck, they'll lose and it'll be Croatia versus somebody else. But, you know, I took a gamble. But what's really pisses you off there is when because what they do on the aftermarket that FIFA has, right? They charge the seller and the buyer 15%. And they also show you the original price. The original price for the ticket I got was like $128. So it's almost, you know, it's about $350 more, you know, to buy it off of you only live once, Edgar.
You know, the funny thing is, dude, they also charge you tax and handling and all that stuff. And it's like, who are they taxing? Who's that money going towards? Because they're not like a federal entity, right? It's FIFA taxing you, right? So it's like, yeah.
No, they saw where money could be made, and right, and like I said, it's 15% is what I got charged by FIFA to buy that ticket to go see a FIFA game.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
Working
Even
and then,
going to like for me personally, even going to a USA game, like when I was in college, that's when I really started like paying to go to the games to myself. I remember going watch USA Mexico games at the Rose Bowl, and it was like $15, I think.
yeah.
You got to get that same ticket now, and it's like $150 or something like that.
So is that just the times because the sport's bigger now, or is it just corporations that got involved and then just got greedy and kept creeping up the prices on us?
Both,
Right.
man. It's gotten really out of hand. Um, but anyway, let's bring it back. Let's rope it back here to MLS. Enjoy it while we can before it turns really corporate with the Tam Stramp sponsor logos now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the ref. I mentioned referee Joe Dickerson, and I have a ref report here, right here. Joe Dickerson. He's a FIFA sanctioned referee. He's refereed various CONCACAF competitions, U.S. Open Cup, NASL, USL, and he also recently refereed in the FIFA U20 World Cup. Since 2017, he has refereed in 138 MLS regular season matches, 15 with Galaxy for a record of 7 wins, 5 draws, 3 losses, with 5 wins, 3 draws, 0 losses at home. He's done 3 matches with Charlotte FC for 2 wins, 1 draw, no losses, with just the lone away match being a win. Dickerson's last LA Galaxy match was a 1-1 draw with Houston Dynamo FC at home on April 12th, 2025. He dealt 2 yellows and 1 red to LA Galaxy in the 28th minute to Zonka, that idiot, and then 2 yellows to Houston Dynamo. His last Houston match was the same 1-1 draw with LA Galaxy. Um, Dickerson refereed 13 MLS regular season matches in 2025. He dealt 53 yellows for an average of 4.07 yellows per game and 2 straight reds. He awarded 3 penalty kicks. In his lone match in 2026, he dealt 2 yellows and 1 straight red. So, you mentioned your prediction already. You said 2-1 Charlotte, right? This is what I was going to ask you because you got this ref right here, right?
Yeah.
Charlotte's undefeated on the road with him, but Galaxy's also undefeated at home with him. Something's got to give.
It'd be a
You
draw.
still sticking to the 2-1?
Why not? I go with 2-1. If Zaha can keep his head straight and not get pissed off because, everybody seems to fail. They foul that guy terrible. The refs need to be protecting players like him. End of, right? But I could see the referee sort of trying to get his sort of, his clout in the game, put his impression on the game. And I can, Zaha's could talk himself into the book. And if you get him in there early enough, he's going to have to ride that yellow all game. And if you keep on at him, it's not above him to do it again.
What happened to the 1-1 win?
2-1.
No, remember you used to say that all the time on the show, like I got a 1-1 win.
Yeah, well, because it's like I caught myself realizing like every time somebody asked me a prediction and Charlotte was playing, I was like always saying Charlotte was going to win. So it was like at this point, it was like, well, we just shoot for a draw, or at least grab a point, but we might also win. So 1-1 win, yeah.
Oh man, I wish I could say with confidence that LA Galaxy will win this match, but they struggled so hard against a team from Panama called San Miguelito, Sporting San Miguelito. One thing that I noticed is that they Galaxy had a really hard time with the high press, which is something that San Miguelito did, and also we saw it last year in the Leagues Cup with Cruz Azul. Also, they pressed Galaxy high and forced Gabriel Peck and Painto out to the extremities, which makes it really difficult for them to try to get involved in the offense. As it is, LA Galaxy has been having a difficult time trying to get the ball to them in League and CONCACAF Champions Cup play. Although Peck scored a lot of goals in the preseason, I mean that's preseason. But now, where the matches really matter, we've been noticing that him and Painto are having a really difficult time getting the ball. A lot of people have been wondering when a new midfielder Eric Tommy's going to get in there because they're expecting him to come in and be kind of like the playmaker. Now, as you heard, Lee, we lost Ricky Pooch for the rest of the season again. So it's pretty messed up, yeah. Because and I don't know if you heard, but the scuttlebutt is that he was in back home in Barcelona playing a pickup game when he hurt himself. So,
Mm, yeah.
ooh, right,
Hopefully, you get some insurance on that guy.
yeah. Got again one of those. I think it was what was it? Diana Ross. He's had her legs insured or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Eric Tommy is a midfielder we picked up from Sporting Kansas City. He's supposed to be kind of like a playmaker, a guy that kind of hovers around the top of the box and can create, or he can shoot one from way out there. But he's questionable whether or not he plays. If he does play, I think Alec Galaxy has a good shot at this match. But I just feel like right now there's so many question marks around this club. Jao Klaus is in definite improvement up top, much better than Miguel Berry or Chris Ramirez, who both left the team. But getting the ball to him is the issue. And I can see this being a 1-1 draw. There you go, 1-1 win, Lee.
Yeah, well, I mean, a draw won't be bad for us. I mean, we're not known to be an away team, right? So, my hope is that we can get that sort of monkey off of our back, come in and win. I was hoping we could do it last week against St. Louis, but, they sort of, if you guys play through the middle, I think you guys will be all right. That seems to be our weak spot there. But yeah, if we can, we're not known as an away winning team. So, 1-1 would be a fair result. I'd be happy with it, right? 2 draws on the road and then hopefully come back and spank Austin.
By the way, that 1-1 draw at St. Louis. St. Louis is a difficult team to deal with at Energizer Park or whatever they call it now.
Flying. They just normally when they kick off, well, not them, but just in general nowadays, it's that pass back, right? And blah, blah, blah. They just run straight down the middle. It's like, oh, please don't be like a 38-second goal, right? But yeah, they look like they're going to have a good team or a decent, they should be decent, but again, the West, I feel like the West is a little weaker than the East, to be fair.
Yeah, I can see that. LA Galaxy definitely fell off, and they're trying to get back up there. It's top heavy with LAFC, and then you have Vancouver. These are two teams that are pretty solid. Vancouver came within a whisker of winning CONCACAF Champions Cup and the MLS Cup in the same year. So there's still a lot of question marks to them. I don't know if you heard, but they are in danger of losing their team up there because of the stadium situation.
Yeah, it'd be sad to see them drop out of the league completely. Hopefully, worst case scenario, they can relocate somewhere and pick them up. But, that to me is sort of, I know they're in Canada, but it's sort of like U.S. sports, right? Once we've had enough of a city, we'll just move on to somewhere else.
Yeah, as long as you don't move them to Memphis, right? Like they did with the Grizzlies.
That's right. Yeah.
The Memphis Whitecaps.
Well, they'll rebrand them to something else, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. Tell us more about the about what's going on with Charlotte because, like I said, I have family out there and I've been out there, before, and I love North Carolina. I think it's a great place to live, raise a family. But tell us more about like how the sport has grown since Charlotte FC has come into the league, and how the interaction with the fans has increased over the years because we definitely have a football culture out here. You see it if you interact with people that tailgate or you hang out with people before and after the game. What's it like at a Charlotte FC game?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel the coach's been here. It just needed a team to support, right? I mean, I sort of joke around, just call us the melting pot of the East, right? Or at least, in regards to cultures, because we got the Latino culture, right? We got the European. It's just a lot. It's a lot of different people from a little different parts of the world that are here, and so the fans are there. We've been dying for a team. We got a team. I know I was bitching about PSLs earlier in the show, but like if somebody had told me in order to have a team in Charlotte, you'd have to pay PSLs, I would have been all over it regardless. So, as much as we can bash on the club and tap her right for doing stuff like that, we have an MLS team in Charlotte, right? And the colleges around here. I mean, Wake Forest, all up in that way, like around Chapel Hill. I mean, those are some pretty decent soccer colleges, right? And so there's the coaches here, the sport's been here. It's just now it's finally coming together, and like, again, going back to what we touched on at the beginning of the season, it just seems this year there seems to be, at least in my opinion, and at least the people I've talked to, that the fans seem disconnected from the club in regards to, what's going on, the less hype, and that sort of thing. But I mean, it's corporate. It's a corporate thing after, and it's all about the money. So I'm sure they've sort of tried to figure out what works and what doesn't. But I won't say they're gonna lose the loyal fan, right? Because I'm gonna bitch and complain and everything about the prices, but I may not renew my season tickets, but I guarantee you I'll probably still be at every home game.
You know what it is, man? We need more CLT FC fan TV. I think that's what it is, because Jorge is okay, but he's kind of, he's kind of boring, But we need you and JT out there.
Yeah, we've been talking about it. Like, if nothing else, we just do it like the first Wednesday of the month and try to do a recap or something, man. It's just, we're at that age where the kids are, into sports and doing all that other stuff. And then, couple that with work, right? And just regular life stuff. And man, it's a grind, right? I mean, you guys know, you guys have been going at it for a while. I mean, it's yeah, we might be live for an hour, but there's many hours that go unnoticed behind the scenes to get prepared for the show, right? And then keeping up with all this stuff and reading every article you can, so you seem semi-intelligent when you get asked a question about MLS, right? Because before Charlotte came, I never really watched MLS, right? I mean, my team that I grew up with is in London, so. But yeah,
that team is
Tottenham Hotspurs. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs.
Oh, it's lad. It's Tottenham.
Hey, we won a Europa Trophy last year. Come at me, bro.
Oh man, I'm a Fulham supporter. I have nothing to say.
We'll play you this. We play you guys this week.
Yeah, I'm just glad that we're still in Premier League at this point.
Yeah, well, hopefully we don't get relegated this season. But yeah, no. So I mean, to answer your question, like the coaches here, there's a lot of the kids again. As a lot of these moms don't want their kids playing football, like American football anymore, right? They want them playing soccer because it's less chance they're going to get injured and hurt and mess up the brains and that sort of thing, right? From all the tackling and that kind of stuff. So these kids are now starting to get of age. And so even when we do our fan interviews, man, it's so much fun to have those little kids just come run up. And like some of them you talk to, man, and they're all tactically talking all this stuff. And it's like, it's really good to see. And so, hopefully we can keep that going. And maybe it's just another year of growing pains for us. And, this would be an old conversation at some point.
It's all fun on the pitch until you run to Diego Chara and he tackles the brains out of you.
That's true.
Right. Well, Lee, where can our people find you for Charlotte FC coverage and MLS things as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, my handle's right there at CLTFC Fan TV on all the socials. I do guest appearances like you guys here, and I'm over at Top Bin 90. I'm over on Huli Talk, right, which is with the Yeti Clan. They do their stuff on Tuesday nights. So I'm around. I try to make guest appearances as much as I can, but again, to your point earlier, it's tough to be locked in on every Wednesday night or something, or every Thursday night at this time. So we're trying to make it work. So hopefully we have our own live show here soon, and we get you on, Edgar.
And for any Charlotte fans that are watching right now, you guys can follow us, News Across the Galaxy. You guys can follow me as well, Edgar Nags, on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram. Since the game here is, since the game on Saturday, I'm gonna be on the lookout for any Charlotte fans that are in town. If you see me approach you, I'll probably want to interview you, maybe invite you to tailgate, have some brews and some food. Um, a shout out real quick to the Inland Empire G's. They have a tailgate where they try to have it themed around our whoever's visiting. And this time, I told them that y'all better have some Carolina barbecue with some collard greens and some other good stuff because Carolina, it's a unique kind of food, right? So they're gonna be out there with the barbecue, with the with the collard greens, and who knows what other goodies they're gonna have. So if you're a Charlotte FC fan and you want to taste from home, you're out here in LA, just come hang out with us in the northern lot 13, I think.
That's what's up. Get some sun drop.
If you have any, please bring some cheer wine. I would love some.
That's it. That's it. So,
All right,
all
folks,
right.
from me and Bryant and Galaxy crew, we thank you once again for joining us tonight. Lee, man, you're my boy. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Well,
It's always a pleasure having you on. I guess we're going to have you on every year now because the new schedule is going to make us so that we play each other at least once a year every year, right?
as long as you guys keep taking those L's, I'm good with it.
Yeah, man. Hey, send our best to JT too, man. We miss having him on here. Um, and as we always say on here, keep on nagging. Oh, and before I go, COTFC Fan TV.
For the fans, by the fans, damn it.
That's what I'm talking about. And as we always say, keep on nagging and Wu Tang for life. Let's go.